Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is a profile on Lady Corder Chapman, a musician in Nashville, Tennessee. And Lady Chapman, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you.
You know, Lady, we've had an opportunity to talk to a number of people about many topics on this show, but we've never really had an opportunity to talk to many people about music. And of course, I think that to talk about music, the selection to have you to sort of discuss music and youth with us this morning, I think that that will give us an opportunity to not only talk about music, but say some things about our youth. But before we get started talking about the topic youth and music this morning, let's talk about you. Okay. Let's have you to give us some information about your background, your education, or some of the things that you feel to be important, and then we'll get into a discussion of youth and music appreciation.
Okay. Well, now I was born actually here in Nashville, Tennessee, a little over 45 years ago, and to parents, Reverend and Mrs. Walter E. Corder, and I have 5 brothers and 3 other sisters. Now, I attended school here in Nashville, Cameron High School, as well as a Johnson Elementary School, and my training after high school included Tennessee State University and Fisk. I attended a couple of years at both of those places, specifically updating my musical background, which is what I do now full-time.
Let's talk about your musical background, because I know that you've been involved not only in writing music, but you've been involved in recording music, and more specifically, I think you've been involved in dealing with our young people, and we want to talk about all of those topics, but let's talk about your interest in music.
Okay, my interest in music has always been a part, I guess I would say, a part of my family background. My granddaddy, Reverend F.M. Corder, was a preacher and a singer. He was a pastor of the Mount Gilead Baptist Church for over 45 years, but he was a singer. He used to take me and my sisters and brothers to little country towns, Gallatin, Smyrna, Murfreesboro, Lebanon, and sang. He would preach and we would sing. So at a very young age, I was introduced to music kinds of things. And then about the age of 12, my grandmama began to send me and my sisters to take music classes. And so I guess I've been playing for churches since about the age of 12. And my musical background has brought me from where I was at that time to where I am now. Now, me and my family, the singing Corder family, we recorded 2 albums, 2 singles, and I recently released a cassette tape myself entitled Lady Corder Chapman and Sons. So I'm just very thankful to God for having blessed me with so much rich musical background. And
so you're from a family that's been involved in music for a long time and are still involved in music,
yes,
I would imagine.
very involved in music, very involved in music.
You know, one of the topics and one of the things that is of some interest to many of us has to do with our young people. And I know that you've been involved not only in music, but you've been involved in dealing with our young people, and you've had quite an impact in terms of providing the kind of inspiration that they need and teaching in choirs and directing choirs. And let's talk about that, because I think that if there's one thing that's sort of missed in terms of what we do in the various communities today, has to do with music appreciation and getting our young people again involved in music. What would be your prescription in terms of what we ought to do?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have a great love for our children, for our youth, and I think they need to be exposed to as many creative things as is possible. I think they should be exposed to vim and vitality and excitement and love for Jesus Christ, first of all. And that's what I attempt to do. One of the songs I wrote says, Lord, let your light shine in me for others to see. And I think our children need to be exposed to enthusiasm. They need to be exposed to the fact that they are somebody. So daily, on a daily basis, I work specifically with children's choirs, even in my music ministry of teaching people how to play the piano and voice enhancement. Over half of my students that I teach daily are children. I work for young folks choirs, I do choir workshops for young folk, solo workshops, and you name it, and I do it if it's related to music and especially young people. I find that we as older persons need to share with our children how important it is that they be creative. It's important that we share with our children that you are somebody and that you can do it. And I just thank God for giving me some vim and some vigor, some excitement. And we get in front of these children. When I get in front of these children, I like to communicate to them that you can do it. Take time, sit down, open up your books, go to school, be what's the word? Be focused on what you're doing, and you can do it. And especially when it comes to music, you know, music has been said to be a universal language. And I find that sometimes, even if people don't know the words to songs, if children don't know the words to songs, if you watch them, their foot's going, or their head is going, or their body's going, or they're getting into the flow of